I know you had already said like what you wanted to talk about. I don't particularly have anything, but could start with a question if you wanted to or not.
I feel like that could go on for a while, and I have like 3 things to talk about.
Not if it's an easy one.
Are there any easy ones left?
I think so.
Well, let's switch
it could
it
take
up
a
then.
second.
All right, you asked the question, and I'm gonna think about it.
Favorite movie soundtrack?
Okay, I have an answer to it, and it's not long, so I guess we could do it.
What about my answer? What if my answer is
We got a whole dissertation about it.
It's a 13-page essay. Yes.
Dissertations are usually longer than 13 pages, so I think you need to do some more work on it. But I mean, is it long?
No, I don't know. I mean, you've already said we're doing it. We're doing it.
Okay.
So you go first.
Well, it's Amadeus.
Saw that coming.
Dang it! Hold on. No, that's not
you
true.
can't take it back.
Wait.
It's Amadeus. My
I
turn.
have to think about it. Wait, hold on. No, I didn't even get to explain why. So calm down. But now that I think about it, it might. I don't think this is my favorite, but this is just one that I like a lot. But I really like Rocket Man's soundtrack. But that's kind of cheating because it is just Elton John songs, and they are all bops. So I don't know. I'm going to stick with Amadeus, though, which is also sort of kind of cheating because it is just Mozart and Salieri music. So
Music's music. He didn't
yeah.
specify. Oh, this is from David, by the way, if he's still listening.
Okay. I feel like, when you say soundtrack, it's like purpose made for this movie.
No, well, I mean, that would be score.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, never mind then.
Soundtrack. I mean, we could say score as well, but like...
then I would have to think about it.
That's not what David said.
No.
So.
Yeah, it is Amadeus. I especially like the Requiem Mass parts and the parts where they use Don Giovanni. It's good. I should watch it again. I haven't watched it in a while, but it's not on any streaming services, so I have to break the law if I wanted to do that. Which I'm totally fine with, but sometimes I like convenience more. And sometimes breaking the law is very inconvenient. Especially when domains don't work and you have to figure out which one does. It's like,
God, do you ever get these ads? Well, no. Well, do you ever get these ads on Letterboxd?
No. I think it might be because I have this thing on my phone where it's an ad blocker and it works on certain apps and it doesn't work on other ones. Like, it doesn't work on YouTube at all. And it only sort of kind of works on Google Chrome, but I think it does definitely work on Letterboxd because I haven't seen a single ad on there.
It's these ads in particular. I guess let me describe them for the audience. I wish I could even show it to you better, but
I'll look at it through your glasses.
Can you see that clearly?
Somewhat. I mean, I can see your phone.
Okay. Well, the ad. I use Letterboxd on Safari, the
might be why then.
The standard iPhone browser. And this ad pops up as like a banner at the bottom of the page, like most ads. But then it's obnoxious and becomes like a full-blown window with like a frame and everything, and it's like blocking vital information on every edge of what I'm trying to look at and what I'm trying to read, and all of a sudden it's like I'm crippled from enjoying this website. I think Letterboxd is the only place I get that kind of ad, which is quite unfortunate. But while I'm looking, I think I have an answer, and I'm just dancing around it, maybe just to see if there's another answer I'm forgetting. Honorable mentions: Scott Pilgrim, Bo Burnham's Inside. I think that counts as a soundtrack. Like, I don't know actually.
Well, but is it a musical?
Sort of, yeah.
Yeah, then I think it would.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, because Rocket Man is a musical.
Let's see what else. Most movies by Quentin Tarantino. Great needle drops, all that. You still a Quentin Tarantino fan?
I guess.
Okay. Why do you guess? I thought you used to be really into his movies.
I mean, yeah, but I guess because I haven't seen a lot of them recently, it's kind of waned. So.
Fair enough. Megamind has a lot of great. Megamind has a lot of great. Shoot, I don't know. It has AC/DC and Guns N' Roses. I don't know if that's rock or metal or what.
It is rock.
Rock, just rock. Okay.
Wait, you said AC/DC and who else?
Guns N' Roses.
Yeah, it's just rock.
I feel like Metallica, Ozzy Osbourne.
Ozzy Osbourne was not in Metallica.
No, like Ozzy Osbourne by himself and Metallica.
Okay, that's metal. It's right
It's
there
a
in
bit
the
of
name.
both then.
Yeah.
There's no metal
That's
in
like dad
Ozzy
metal.
Osbourne's name. What do you? Don't discriminate. That's the
What?
that metal raised your metal, Aaron. Okay.
I mean, technically, yeah, but as a true metalhead, I have to be really, really annoying about genres. So
No, you don't. I feel like as a true metalhead, if you were a true metalhead, you would be out of your edgy teen phase and appreciate all metal, not just rag on the older metal and
Well-
call it dad metal.
you'd be surprised the amount of grown adults engaging in that discourse. But
Yeah, here you are.
here I am.
Uh,
I mean, they play it on like I don't know in Targets and stuff.
there's a reason things are timeless. Okay, Aaron.
I
There's
mean, I
nothing wrong with
guess.
that.
It's never really a fan of Metallica. a little
Okay,
plain
there
for
we
me.
go. The true discrimination revealed.
That's not discrimination. It's just me not being a fan.
It's a discrimination against Metallica.
I guess.
Bo Burnham's Make Happy as well. Did he say film? He did say film. I'm looking at Letterboxd.
Because if we're counting documentaries, then obviously the
Lady
Monster
Gaga.
Ball, yes.
Whiplash has amazing music.
They really need to do a Chromatica Ball, like, special. I feel like it's high time for one.
Okay,
'Cause I
wait.
think-
We don't derail us. I still
I'm
haven't
not
answered.
derailing because you're thinking.
No, I'm done thinking.
Oh.
I'm cutting you off.
Okay.
Yeah, the answer I was dancing around, which immediately, like, I think I've immediately popped in my head, or even immediately popped into my head months ago as soon as I received this question, was Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
Okay.
The soundtrack, and, second place Guardians of the Galaxy 1. Oh, I forgot to honorable mention Baby Driver as well.
Okay.
But I've been thinking, you watched Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame. I feel like I really want to get you to watch both Guardians of the Galaxy movies.
I can guarantee you I will fall asleep. And it's not because I'm tired. It's because I'm not into it.
Really? Why?
I don't know. It just doesn't appeal to me. I can't.
You liked the Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
Same director, same vibe.
Yeah, I guess.
Just with less gore.
Sure, but that was DC. I feel like I
And?
lean more towards DC than Marvel
Uh-huh.
in my general enjoyment.
I
of
feel like
things.
if I killed a oh no.
Did you
Maybe
hear
I'm
it?
hallucinating. No, I didn't.
Well, I saw
thought
it too.
Yeah, it was literally right there, like right on the bottom of my thumb, and I almost sacrificed my phone just to kill this godforsaken fly. It was a tiny fly. I'm not disgusting. Okay.
It was a gnat.
And it's a juicy gnat though.
Yeah. We got thick gnats down here in Mississippi.
Anyway, Guardians of the Galaxy. I don't want to spoil it.
Mm-hmm.
But the soundtrack to those movies is quite integral, and I feel like the soundtrack slaps, but it also like adds and enhances to the plot. Like they're great movies. You know what I mean? As much as I say, I'll say I currently hate the MCU. I still love those movies, and yeah. Anyway, that's the answer.
Okay. I don't know why, but I feel like I just smelled coffee. I don't know. I might
I
be
don't
having
know.
a stroke. Ugh.
Maybe.
Could happen to anyone.
Can you just have a stroke where the only symptom is you smell burnt toast and you're fine?
I don't even know if that's like a real symptom. I feel like that's
Pretty sure it is. I mean, I think so. Yeah.
having an olfactory hallucination.
Exactly.
I don't know. I feel like other stuff has to happen. Like, the whole blood clot in the brain. That has to happen as well.
Yeah, but well, never mind. Let's move
Well,
on.
stop. Do you know what stop means? That's how you detect a stroke. It's like an
Smell.
acronym. It's not smell. I forgot what it is, but I know smell is not in there anywhere.
Okay, well, tell me. So she's like, "Here's the acronym. What does it stand for?" I have no
All I
clue.
know is the acronym. I forgot what it stands for. I know T is time. Let me see. We can look it up.
Bro, I wish, you know how we were talking about like House of the Dragon earlier?
Yeah.
I feel like I wish we had had that conversation on the podcast.
Oh no, it's fast. It's not stop.
Oh my God. I wish we had had that conversation on the podcast, but I don't think anyone that listens to it, at least that we know of, like Melissa, David, Patricia, I don't think any of them are watching the show.
No.
So we'd just be like, hey guys, episode 7 spoilers, watch out. And then David would be like, oh, cool, great. I love spoilers, you know? And then Patricia would be like, I don't know. I don't know what Patricia would be like.
Mm-hmm. So the signs of a stroke are face, which, you know, facial weakness and asymmetry. Arms, so muscle weakness. Speech, and then time. So I was right. The
Time?
T is time, yes.
What does time mean?
Basically, as soon as you see it, you gotta get medical help, like, right away.
But speech was one of them?
Yes.
Oh, dang it.
Smell is not in there. But, intro time. This is, I don't know. Hold on. I gotta look it up.
It's episode 29, I believe.
You might be right, but I want to verify.
Don't edit this out.
It's 29.
Don't edit this out. I wanted the audience to know how long it took you.
Okay. This is episode 29 of the Not Just Arin podcast. We're almost at 30. Wow. I am Arin, and you are?
Stop. You held a finger gun to me.
Indeed, I did. And it's still.
No, I'm having a stroke. Right? Help.
Wait, that's not. It's not stop. It's fast.
Exactly. I was making fun of you.
Okay.
Or yeah.
Yeah. So I had reached 3 topics for us to talk about on the pod today,
and I only know about 0 of them.
Exactly. And that's what makes it all the more exciting.
There's this has become a snuff podcast. I've killed a fly live on microphone.
So,
anyway,
for the first one, I want to get your live, raw, unfiltered reaction because I feel like you're going to be as devastated as the rest of us.
Oof.
But as you know,
high stakes.
The Warner Discovery merger ongoing, and there have been some casualties from it. I'm going to stick with the facts here because from what you had seen, there's been some speculation. I mean, it's not that much of a logical leap to make the speculations that have been speculated, but I think I saw the number was like 89 people in Cartoon Network Studios, the animation company, has been laid off. And so basically it's being merged with Warner Brothers Animation. And so basically Cartoon Network as we know it, Cartoon Network Studios as we know it, is kind of no longer a thing anymore. It's basically dead. And 2 shows that they have right now, one of them is Craig of the Creek and the other one I kind of forgot. But their episode orders have been like cut in half. So yeah, that's it.
Well, so you said you were going to just start with the facts, and then you were like, it's not hard to speculate. So I don't know what you just told me was facts and what you just told me was speculation.
Well, the episode orders, that has been cut. Because I heard
for
that
Craig of the Creek and
another show that I forgot.
It's fine.
And then them laying off all the employees.
That's
that
a
happened,
fact?
Yes, that happened like last week. And all of this, the speculation being that Cartoon Network is no more.
89 employees out of how many?
I don't know, but 89 still feels like a lot. And I think some executives as well. I saw that today. Some executives, a marketing executive for Cartoon Network and another one that I can't remember have also been laid off. Basically, they're saying, oh no, Cartoon Network gone. So
that's the speculation.
Basically. But I mean, it's not that much of a logical leap to make because they've merged it with Warner Brothers Animation. So Cartoon Network Studios is now just Warner Brothers Animation, I guess. They haven't really released a name for what the new merged studio will be. But Cartoon Network, the channel for right now, is remaining in place. But people have been speculating that that may also die as well. So, and this is all because of public enemy number 1, David Zaslav. He made that decision. And
the new like the Discovery CEO.
Yes. Well, the Warner Brothers Discovery CEO.
Moving and shaking.
Yeah. Shaking in all the wrong places.
Yeah.
And we should point out...
Got no ass. You should not be shaking it to begin with.
Yeah. So we should point out that David Zaslav, he was the Discovery CEO. He was not the Warner Brothers CEO. Who, I'm going to say, me personally, I feel like Warner Brothers, specifically HBO and HBO Max, they usually make very good decisions when it comes to their programming. Because I feel like for like a really long time, aside from like, you know, the last couple of seasons of Game of Thrones, but I feel like that's an outlier. But HBO programming just like doesn't miss, you know, with their
They have the reputation for a reason.
yeah. And they always had like really good documentaries too. And I don't know what's gonna happen to the documentary like side, because that was probably my favorite part of HBO was their documentaries, because they were always like really good. They never made a whole lot of them, but when they made them, they were like slappers. So I don't know what's gonna happen with that, especially considering that Discovery, most of their programming is like unscripted stuff, not necessarily documentaries, but still, you know, in that realm. So yeah. And also before all of this happened. Wait, no, that was with Netflix. That was in Netflix specifically that they like canceled a bunch of stuff, I think. Or maybe that was basically the animation industry is not doing very well right now. So, it's not a great time to be in animation, especially at like a huge studio. Nickelodeon seems to be doing fine. They're minding their business. But Netflix and Cartoon Network Studios, the kids are not all right.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I have a reaction yet because I guess you have presented what is the facts and what is the speculation. You're not doing the best job of separating them. But
Because again, there's not much of a logical leap to make from the two of them. Continue.
Shut up. What is it? Well, yeah, I mean, I guess before even recording the podcast, you telling me like it has to do with Cartoon Network. I had seen I had told you that I had seen this community post by a YouTube channel that's been in my recommended lately.
Called?
Veil Ski Bum? I have no idea. You want to try to read it? Veil Ski Bum?
Veil. Yep. That's
Veil Ski Bum.
what it says.
1 million subscribers about cartoons and stuff. Makes very short videos. Looks like 1 to 2 a day. But yeah, he apparently uploaded a video talking about the same topic, but then took it down. And I guess I'll read the community post. But it says, for now, I've unlisted my recent video about Cartoon Network Studios. There's a lot of confusion about what's going on and not enough answers. And I don't want to add fuel to the fire when we're still in the dark on the situation. So, I mean, I don't know. I guess I don't know how up to date you are on the situation per se, but
we also don't necessarily know what that video said.
This is true. Well, I mean, it's probably saying what you're saying. Not like I necessarily trust Warner Brothers at the moment, but I guess they do say that they're not killing it. They're just like, it's just combining. They're just going under the same umbrella or whatever. I don't know. It's hard to react because I don't have enough of the facts, or I don't have enough in order, or I don't have the facts in order. So I'm kind of trying to like read and also talk.
Yeah, but the layoffs really make me think. Again, I don't know what the total number of people working at Cartoon Network Studio were, but it makes me think they're gutting most of Cartoon Network Studio in favor of keeping Warner Brothers Animation. Whereas, again, like HBO with their documentaries and really all their other programming, Cartoon Network has a pretty decent reputation when it comes to like their original stuff. And also, I think the biggest thing for most people who are talking about this is that I feel like there's an entire generation of people who grew up with Cartoon Network. There's at least 2 generations of people that grew up with Cartoon Network, because it started like roughly in the 90s. So you have all the like early stuff, and then the stuff that we grew up with. So like, you know, Ed, Edd n Eddy, Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends, all of that like cohort of programming that was around in like the early 2000s. And then now the new stuff with like Steven Universe and Adventure Time and a bunch of other new shows that I don't really know a lot about because I'm not in that demographic anymore. So it's like, you know, it's almost like history is being deleted, I guess. I don't know.
That's one
it's
way
like
to look
burning
at it.
the Library of Alexandria, but not really. That's a little dramatic, but yeah.
One news outlet, it says Variety, says that output will remain the same from Cartoon Network, so they're still making stuff. Like you were saying about the staff, like 80, I think the number is 82 from what I'm reading from this article, is that is a lot of people, but given like how many show. I mean, I'm just guessing here, but like given how many shows and stuff they make, I feel like they probably still have a sizable staff. Like this is an entirely a guess, like out of my butt, but like maybe like 500 people. 82 is a lot, but there's still 400 people working there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is my unprofessional guess. Further reading the article, yeah, I don't know who Cartoon Brew is, but they said that they declared the studio gone, whatever.
I think it's
And then, but
a
then
publication.
apparently someone who's still working at Cartoon Network is unhappy about that because it's like, I'm still here, we're still working.
for now.
I'm going to try to continue to read this article, but I want to respond because, funnily enough, the PlayStation podcast I listened to, Sacred Symbols, they talked about this on an episode like last week or like 2 weeks ago. Because like, are you familiar with like Final Space at all?
No.
Okay, that's a show. So Final Space, let me think. The reason it came up on Sacred Symbols was because there's kind of this debate between the hosts of like digital media versus physical media, and I think two of the co-hosts will say they're for, I think, physical media more so for like preservation, history, all of that. Whereas one of them is like entirely digital. It's like, I don't want it takes up too much space. That's the leader, Colin Moriarty, or I guess the host, and he's for digital media, while like a lot of the co-hosts and the fans, they write in and they're like, no, they're like, digital media can be sort of like taken away from you at any time.
Yeah.
There's danger there, even though it doesn't happen that often, whereas like it's not common, or a company can't just come in and steal my copy of Shrek 2 on DVD.
Yeah.
And so that's the backstory for Sacred Symbols. Now, the reason someone wrote in is because with Final Space, which is a show made by an OG YouTuber, Olin Rogers, Warner Brothers Discovery is wiping it off of the face of the earth. You know what I mean? Where it was like, what I had heard from this write-in on Sacred Symbols is that at first it was just like, oh, it's being removed from HBO Max, and like no more like physical copies are being produced, which it was already kind of limited. So like streaming was where to get it. But then I had also heard from this write-in that it's also being removed. Like you can't like buy it on iTunes. You can't buy it on Amazon. And even people that purchased it on Amazon or iTunes previously, they paid $20 for like the whole season. They paid $40 for seasons 1 and 2. It's just being removed from their library, like no refund. You know what I mean? Just legitimately, just Thanos out of existence.
Yeah.
And that's what one of the co-hosts, Chris Raygun, was saying, where it's like, even if this cartoon isn't like the most significant thing in human history, it's still media, it's still part of human history, and it's just gone. You know what I mean? Like, presumably not gone. There's, I would hope, got to be archives somewhere, pirated copies or whatever. It can be found, but like years from now, if I loved the show so much that I wanted to show it to my kids or grandkids, I just couldn't. You know what I mean? And it's he didn't compare it to the burning of the Library of Alexandria, but it did come up where it's like that's just knowledge and art and human experience and history just deleted. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like what he thought was so terrible was like, whereas like Alexandria, that's like an accident and a tragedy. This is intentional. This is corporations having too much power, and they're just like, we want to save a couple million. Yeah, let's just get rid of it. You know what I mean? Like, anyway, maybe I'll let you react, but I think it got me really excited that it came up on my PlayStation show, because I did not expect that. And because of, I'm not like the biggest fan of the show, but I am a big fan of the creator, Olin Rogers. I'm wearing his merch right now. And he is quite devastated because what he wrote in an email, he might have tweeted it too, but what he wrote in an email to the fans is just like, yo, like 5 years of my life are now like kind of completely worthless. Like all that work, I don't have, like, it's like I don't have anything to show for it. I don't have any like proof, and the work that I put in is just now a tax write-off for a mega corporation, and it's just gone. And you know what I mean? That's 5 years. He's like, I don't know if he's in his, he's either in his mid 30s or in his late 30s, but like, you know, a half of his 30s basically is just gone. Like that's so sad and so terrible and disgusting. And that, like, I think they were saying it's like, yo, that's like dystopian cyberpunk shit. You know what I mean? Like this is, you know, if more cases of this happen, like this is not good. You know,
it's basically like the first few silent films that got made. That the only physical copies of them are like too degraded to even try to save them. So, which I mean that's a little bit different, but
because it's not intentional. Like. It's just like it's just the limitations of the medium at the time.
Yeah,
this is not limitations. This is I don't know, overreaching or just corporations having
executive meddling.
Having the power to screw over anyone they want just because it's like, well, we own it, you know?
Yeah. And I'd probably be right to assume that Olin Rogers does not own the rights to the show.
No, I don't think so. I think, and the show even like changed hands for a while because it got, he published a pilot onto YouTube, and then he doesn't have the money. He's probably well off, but like he does not have the money to make an animated show. Animation's expensive, and so he was kind of like workshopping it around. It's like, well, see who would buy it. And I think TBS, Conan O'Brien and TBS bought it because TBS was really trying to make like a big animation push, and they did the first season, but then I think TBS just gave up on animation. They were like, we tried.
Who's watching TBS?
I watched a ton of TBS as a kid. But anyway, so then it kind of was like in limbo for a while until it got picked up by Adult Swim. And then that was its home for, I guess, seasons 2 and 3. And then HBO Max became its home as soon as it came to streaming. I think it might still currently be on Netflix in some regions, but I think at the end of this month it's leaving Netflix. And so like other than illegally, you can't find it anywhere, which like...
It's like abandonware.
Yeah.
Some people consider Sims 2 to be abandonware.
Which at that point, like, I guess, I don't know, maybe you could argue is perfect. Well, probably, technically speaking, not legal, but like...
It's ethical.
Yeah. I guess I've made it like a further sentence in the article, but a Warner Brothers representative said that Cartoon Network is not disappearing. There's still a lot of projects in development. Yeah, I think the layoffs... While not good, I think it's like the internet, or more specifically Twitter, kind of like overreacting and being like, like it's gone. They fired everyone. When it's like you fired a fifth or less, which again, that number is completely my unprofessional guess.
Well, when it comes to like mergers and stuff, when they do like mass layoffs like that, it's because of redundancy. So, you know, if you have two people essentially doing the same job for two different companies, now they're one company, you only need one of those people. So I think mostly what people were not liking was the perceived cultural loss now that Cartoon Network Studios isn't its own thing anymore. And I think the executives saying like, oh, you know, the Cartoon Network will still be here, that's obviously just like media talk, because if they say, yeah, Cartoon Network, it's dead, goodbye. Say your prayers. No longer a thing. Because then their stock is going to start tanking. So obviously they say things like that to appease investors who pay attention to these things.
Fair enough.
I still think it kind of doesn't really bode well. I mean, I think this whole
I can agree with that.
Discovery thing is just not going very well. But yeah.
Yeah, no. Well, I feel like what worries me about it, And what upsets me about it is like I feel like Warner Brothers before being bought by Discovery is like a company. I mean, it's a mega corporation. Like who gives a crap? But like it was a corporation. I really liked what it was putting out artistically and what it was doing. I don't know, for me as a consumer and my enjoyment and entertainment. Where I feel like if you look at my shelf, like it's going to be a lot of Warner Brothers movies, because they have a great variety. And so, like for me, I kind of viewed them as some of the only competition for Disney in a way. And then here comes Discovery, gobbles them up,
Just
and shoots himself in the foot.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, all right, I guess I'll just pray to Disney now. You know what I mean? Like, I
Yeah.
guess I'll just. I don't know.
And Discovery is just like the most bottom of the barrel list content, because I will say back in the day, back in like I'll say the 2000s, the Discovery Channel and Animal Planet and the History Channel used to be poppin'. It used to be like actually really good, really informative, and like really educational, because I would watch it a lot because I like learning about things. But after a while, they just started prioritizing reality type content, and they put that on the History Channel, so like with Pawn Stars, and Discovery Channel and Animal Planet, and just kind of stop doing the educational content that they used to be doing. And now I guess the only place that you can get something like that would be PBS. Like, I don't even know where you get like some of the old school style, that kind of content like on TV anymore. Because I mean, there's a lot of stuff on the internet, which is great, but I feel like, you know, it would benefit from being also on television, which I guess is like a dying thing. But basically, all of that to say, Discovery being in the charge of this merger is like, why? Because, I mean, I guess you got HGTV, which Property Brothers, okay.
I mean, I mean, like you don't even have to like list the shows. Like you just say it's reality TV, and it is the bottom of the barrel. You know?
Which, I mean, reality does have its place in like the media ecosystem. I always kind of cringe when people just like rag on reality as a whole. Like, obviously some of it's gonna be garbage, but you can't deny the cultural impact that some reality shows have had, you know, especially the more competition style shows. And even stuff like Keeping Up with the Kardashians, that was still like a cultural phenomenon for a while. And like Jersey Shore, like those were important, but I don't think they were, I'm not going to say they were not hard to do, because they probably did require some amount of skill in the production, but I just don't think that that kind of content should really take precedence over the stuff that HBO was like previously making, which again, known for its high quality.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Again, does not bode well.
I'm looking at like another article now. I guess I wish this deal was not happening, and I hope that, I don't know, smarter, well, I don't know, I want to say smarter business executives, but maybe just like more creative or caring business executives would remain in charge or stand up. But it's like, I don't know why, like now I'm rooting for business executives, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
it's like what have we come to? Because it's like I don't want to root for anyone, but at the same time it's like clear, if money was like the only driving force, then it's like we'd only have reality television, you know what I mean? It would just be, that would be entirely it. And it seems like that's what this new CEO wants to do.
well, I don't think that's necessarily true, because I feel like some of the scripted stuff gets like really high viewership, especially like when the numbers for House of the Dragon were released. That was being watched a lot.
I think I hear you. I think I'm like exaggerating, but it's like those shows do get higher viewership, but like hear me out. It's like it's not like
They also cost more though. That's
exactly.
another thing.
And you know
Yeah.
what I mean? It's like this is much higher output, much cheaper to make, and maybe you don't get as many views per episode, but if you get 1 million views and you make like 40 episodes, that's still 40 million views. You know what I mean? Like,
you're not spending $1 billion a season.
yeah. And so I don't know, man. I don't want to root for any executives or CEOs or corporations, but like, I don't know, someone please do something. Save us from Discovery, please.
Yeah. I think that's also kind of why I want to work in like development, because it's not necessarily a creative job. It's more of like a production thing, which I always consider myself more of a creative than like a business-minded person. But I still feel like, being that person there who can identify new raw talent could be really worthwhile for me. That's kind of what I want to do. I still want to write, but...
What makes you think you're capable of doing that?
Well, I did this internship...
Oh, yeah.
Like last year. And actually I really enjoyed it. They had us do a couple of projects where we had to like assign actors to like roles, and I don't really know much about like actors and stuff. So that I kind of floundered at. But reading scripts and like giving coverage and, saying whether or not this studio should go forward with it or not, I feel like, I don't know. I felt like I was just good at it.
Okay, so
not that I was just good at it,
I
but...
asked, what makes you think you would be good at it? And you're like, I just think I am.
Well, I don't know. I have to think about it. It seems like something that I would want to do. The only problem is I really don't know how you like get into that industry.
Shia LaBeouf.
Shia LaBeouf.
Just do it.
Very helpful, thank you. By the way, if anyone is hiring for someone to be a development assistant, I'm looking for work.
Is development even a job? I thought that's producing.
Well, it's called development.
Really?
But it's also sort of kind of producing. Basically, you're deciding what to produce. So I'm not doing any actual
So you want to be
production.
DJ Khaled?
I mean, what does DJ Khaled even do? I don't even know
have
how
no
to
idea.
compare it.
As far as, well, Charlie's uploaded a bunch of videos of him lately, and like I haven't watched them, but the comments are like, yo, he doesn't, even the music he's on, like he doesn't make beats. He doesn't produce. Apparently, he just, I don't know, I actually don't know what he does. Based on the comments, it made it sound like what he does is he's like, you, and then maybe he just has an eye for big hits. He slaps his name on the big hits. Mm-hmm. He gets a chunk of that money. He gets richer and more famous. Mm-hmm. And he keeps looking out for big hits and slapping his name on them.
Well, who knows? Maybe I am actually good at production and just, the one class that I took on it was too stressful for me to flourish,
I'm not entirely saying you aren't.
Yeah.
I just think you sound exactly like what you... I can't remember what your stance was, but you sound exactly like what you may have been dissing Donkey for wanting to do a couple episodes ago.
I mean, maybe. But I wouldn't be starting my own company. I'd be working for somebody else. So,
yeah.
There's a bit of a difference. Yeah.
Ever so slight.
Not really.
Ever so slight.
Because I mean, if I'm the assistant, really all I'm doing is just reading scripts and writing coverage. I don't make any decisions.
Bro, well... But don't you want to make decisions?
Yeah, but I got to get there first. I don't want to do it right now. I want to work my way up.
So then there you go. You'd want to be Donkey.
I guess, but again, different.
I'm not talking...
Whatever.
You were saying... No. You were saying it's different because I would be working for someone. I wouldn't be making the decisions. But do you
I wouldn't have my own company. I'd be working for somebody else's company.
What if you get in charge?
As one of many executives. I don't want to be too in charge. I just want to,
Okay. Well,
there's a limit there. I don't want to be the in charge-est. I just want to be in charge-ish. Yeah.
I feel like a board... Why are you nodding so... You want to be a board member?
I mean, not really a board member. No, never mind.
It's basically what you said.
Maybe I don't understand the job that I want all that well.
Yeah.
It's entirely possible. These things aren't exactly discussed. Anyway, Sims 5. So.
Anyway, Kanye West.
We'll get to him. I promise the Sims 5 thing will be short. And I know
it will be, because I tried to look it up and there's no news.
How did you try to look it up and there's no news? I've been seeing nothing but news.
Yeah, that's because your news is Twitter.
No. When I open a new tab on Google Chrome, it shows you like little articles. And I guess since Google knows that I'm into The Sims, it's been showing me a whole lot of Sims. Look, okay, this one is about Sims 4, but the top result is about The Sims.
Where?
It's at the bottom.
At the bottom, I see a girl's face at the bottom. Oh,
Joseph.
Everything new in The Sims 4 base game. You said Sims 5.
Well, I've been getting stuff about
Sims
that
4
as well.
article doesn't count about The Sims 5.
But I'm saying I've been seeing a lot of stuff about The Sims. is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And The Sims 5 is included in that.
I don't think
it's mostly
no.
just speculation articles.
Yeah, exactly. Those aren't articles. All the articles I'm seeing are from September.
Are you sure?
Late September. No, I'll show you. September 22nd.
What's the
September
title?
21st.
Title?
These are long titles. This is Sims 5 potential release date, multiplayer trailer, and more.
Okay, those
Sims
are like
5
fake
is officially,
SEO articles.
Yeah, I feel so. SEO.
Yes, basically, you know how when a show is like maybe getting another season, you look up, I don't know, House of the Dragon season 2, and it'll be like House of the Dragon season 2 trailer release date, and in the article it says we don't know. Basically, that's what those are, probably, if I had to guess.
Well, so then
and they
why
show up
isn't
at
Google,
the top of
why isn't
search results.
Google giving me any real articles by like, I don't know, IGN, Polygon, Game Ranks, whatever.
Because those outrank all of them for some reason. Again, it's all like SEO tricks. But anyways,
I'm
I still want
scrolling to the
about
bottom and still, there we go. Rumor, Sims 5 may be announced next month, mid-September from Game Rant.
I feel like I've been seeing a lot more things. Maybe because my Google is more geared towards my interests, one of those being The Sims.
I'm literally Googling it, Aaron.
Joseph, this isn't even the point I'm trying to talk about. This isn't the topic. The articles are not the point. I'm saying... Anyway, Sims 5. So, people are thinking that it's going to be announced next week because Sims 4, the base game, is going free to play on the 18th. And I forgot what day that is. It doesn't really matter. But they're making that announcement, and then their social media has been really hyping up something else that's going to be announced, and everyone's thinking it's The Sims 5. People are thinking this because the time between The Sims 3 and The Sims 4, that was 2009 to 2014. And 24, I don't know how many years that is. You do the math. But Sims 4 came out in 2014. It's 2022. It's been several years without any sniffings of a new game coming. Personally, me, as a Sims aficionado, do I think there even really needs to be a Sims 5? I don't know, but at the same time, I feel like I don't want the franchise to die, even though it hasn't really been getting better, if that makes sense, you know? So, and also, I just kind of feel really nostalgic about the whole Sims 5 rumor mill, because I remember back when there were the leaks, the Sims 4 leaks, way back in like 2012 or 2013, where early screenshots of the game were released, and it looked so bad. It looked like a mobile game, and people were thinking it was going to be a mobile game, and there's a whole conversations about it, and I don't know, it was just reminding me of that. But as far as do I think The Sims 5 will be announced next week, I mean, I genuinely don't think so, because I feel like we talked about this on like the last podcast episode, but that was like 2 weeks ago, so I forgot. But like I may or may not have said then, the last expansion came out, it feels like recently. And I feel like they're still working on making content for the game as kind of, you know, they're milking this cow pretty dry. This cow has no more milk left to give, and yet they're still getting something somehow. Because the weird thing... Okay. The weird thing about it is that diehard Sims fans, they will complain to no end about what EAxis is doing, but they're still going to be buying those expansions. Me, personally, I will not. I've taken a honor oath to never purchase a single Sims game. Why? Don't know. EA sucks. That's why I had to remember. So I won't be paying for them. And honestly, I haven't even played The Sims 4 in like a really long time. So like I've kind of stopped following all of that. But now that The Sims 5 is going trending every other day on Twitter, I'm just kind of forced to look at it. And it's like, maybe they might be right. Maybe The Sims 5 is coming. But for some reason, I doubt it. Because again, the base game for The Sims 4 leaves a lot to be desired. Again, I haven't played it in a while, but from what I have been hearing from my fellow Simmers, is that there are still a lot of bugs in the game. And for them to just kind of abandon that and then go to a whole other installment is kind of wild, wacky, crazy, and insane. Now, what I think they're going to do is, I mean, there's been no, like, proof that this is even coming, but I feel like what they're going to do is release some kind of tool of some sort. I'm personally hoping it's a world creation tool, because there is none for The Sims 4. There's one probably for The Sims 1. I don't know. I haven't played it. That's the
This is
one.
not short.
Okay. I'm almost done, though. This is the one that I've, like, not played. 2, you can make custom maps in, like, SimCity 4, which is really dope. 3, there was a tool for it that wasn't, like, connected to any other game, but you could still do it. Sims 4, there's no way for us to do that as of yet. There are mods, but it's, like, super complicated, and honestly, I don't want to go through all of that, but I'm hoping it's going to be that. I don't know what it's going to be. Whatever it's going to be, it's probably going to be a disappointment. So, but, we're very used to being disappointed by EAxis. So, business as usual. And now I can move on.
I feel like you're verbally clickbaiting.
Verbally clickbaiting what?
Your first thing you want to talk about is usually like Cartoon Network is shutting down. And I look it up and it's like, yeah, there's some layoffs and I don't know if on this current trajectory. Well, no, there's some layoffs and that's it. You know what I mean? And it doesn't look good. And then you're like, let's talk about The Sims 5. And it's like, has it been announced? And it's like, no, there's just a lot of rumors and
I'm talking about the speculations.
tweets about it.
I mean, the topic of me talking about The Sims 5 was the speculation.
I don't care about some random ass person's Twitter speculations.
It's not just one person. It's like the entire community.
Yeah, I don't care. I don't care about anyone on Twitter speculating.
Well, Joseph, there are a lot of things that you're into that I don't care about, but I still listen because I find it inherently interesting because you find it interesting.
Uh-huh. Okay, well, fair enough. I think, let me think. My rebuttal. It's not that I don't find it interesting. It's maybe I'm just maybe like because this is like you're presenting it to me as gaming news. I want to look up the news and there's no news. It's just speculations. Like, you know what I mean? It's not news. Anyway.
Well, I mean, there is news in there. Sims 4 is going free to play next week on the 18th. Uh-huh. And there's another announcement to be made.
Okay.
And then from that, speculations. Kind of like what I did with Cartoon Network. There is news there. They're emerging. People have been laid off.
No, I'm just talking about Sims. I'm not talking about Cartoon Network.
Okay.
But but I think I'm not saying there's no news. I'm saying like the news you're presenting to me is Cartoon Network.
It's not even okay. You're talking about Cartoon Network.
Well, I'm saying the news you're presenting to me is Cartoon Network is bye bye. Cartoon Network no more. Everyone's childhood gone. And then it's like there was some layoffs. And then The Sims 5 is coming out next week. And then it's like I look it up and it's like
might be announced next week.
I'm exaggerating. So that's what you present, and then it's like, yeah, there's a bunch of like these ESO or what is it? Yeah, ESO articles. SEO articles.
Search engine optimization.
That are just like The Sims 5, everything we know.
Which is nothing. We know nothing.
So then why are we talking about it?
Because it's fun to speculate, Joseph. This is something, again, that I care about, that I would like to talk about with you and with our wider audience, which, for me, a lot of them know me for my Sims content because the biggest video on my channel is The Sims Iceberg, which, remains somehow still popular after almost 2 years, which I'm not complaining. I like that it's my most popular video. But also, I feel like The Sims is like a big part, not necessarily of my identity, so to speak, but it has been like a big part of my life just in general. So, now that there's a new installment potentially coming, I want to talk about it. I didn't even really get into like, what do I want out of a potential Sims 5 game? Because, I mean, I kind of know what is going to happen based on, track record. They're going to release a half-finished base game, day one patch that comes out like a month later, and you have your usual expansions of pets seasons, probably some kind of late night one and other ones. But
so when is this supposed announcement?
It's on the 18th of October.
All right, sick. So let me see. Let me check my calendar.
Why you're setting aside time for it?
No, I just want next episode for you to either you to be I told you so, The Sims 5, yay, all Twitter speculations were fun and correct, or I can be like, I told you so. Stop getting so hyped over the potential of an announcement.
I think I'm just getting hyped about thinking. I'm not even particularly hyped about it because The Sims 5, I don't even know if that's something that I want. Honestly, I just want The Sims 2 but better. I don't even want a 5. I don't even want a 4. Three can stay. Three, she's allowed at the party. But
You want a Sims 2
exactly, I think that's what most of us want, honestly.
Yeah, that's what I want.
I want-
I'm more of a Sims 1, 2, you know?
Okay. But I think what a lot of us want is that we like the open world aspect of The Sims 3, even though it was like terribly optimized, but we like most of the stuff from The Sims 2. And The Sims 4 kind of tried to combine that, but it didn't, it kind of fell flat. And also, I want a continuation of the storyline, because The Sims 4 doesn't align anywhere on the storyline. It's like way outside alternate universe stuff, which, fine, I guess, but I want anything. Something. Because The Sims 1, let's see, The Sims 3 takes place 25 years before The Sims 1, which The Sims 2 takes place 25 years after The Sims 1. It's 3, 2, nope, 3, 1, and then 2. And then 4 is just like off doing its own thing. Like, what can we get something? Honestly, I'll take something before 3, you know? Or after 2, just like anything. So, I don't know. There's a lot that I would want out of a potential Sims 5, despite me just wanting Sims 2 the second. Or, I don't know. Just release Sims 2. Sims 2 is nowhere to be found. You can't buy it anywhere, aside from, like, eBay. There's no, like, official way that you can purchase it. They released the Ultimate Collection a while ago, but you had to, like, enter a code into Origin, and now that Origin is going away, like, is that going to transfer over? Like, you know. And like I said, I was saying earlier, Sims 2 is basically abandonware. I don't know why they can't just, like, re-release that. I wonder if the announcement has something to do with The Sims 2. Even if it did, it would probably still be disappointing, because, again, us Simmers were used to being disappointed by EXs, so we've learned to manage our expectations, but still expect things. But anyways, we can move on, I guess. Anyway, Kanye West, he's doing his Kanye best to ruin his Kanye reputation. So, we probably haven't heard about any of this, but let's see. I can't remember when this happened. I want to say it had to be last week. I feel like last week was like 2 weeks ago, and Monday was like last week, so I don't even know. My perception of time is just off this week. But maybe it was this week. It doesn't matter. At some point in the past, like 14 days, Kanye West went on Tucker Carlson to basically have like a really public manic episode again. And he said some it wasn't there. On Instagram, he said some anti-Semitic stuff because there's this whole thing. He was going like back and forth with P. Diddy, which he always posts his texts on Instagram for some reason. Like, why are you still texting Kanye West? Your information will be out there. But he was saying like Jewish people controlled P. Diddy for some reason. And then it all came to a fever pitch earlier this week when he said that he was going to be going, quote unquote, death Con 3 on Jewish people when he woke up from the little nap that he was taking. So basically, the long and short of it is that Kanye West is having another very public manic episode. That's not really what I want to talk about, though. Not necessarily recently, but over the past like few months have found myself becoming increasingly, I guess, fascinated is the right word to use, by Kanye West, just as a person. We were talking about this before, but I haven't watched most of Genius, which is his, like, it's 3 parts, right? 3-part documentary series that, even though he didn't make it, it's still kind of him making it about himself. Personally, I just felt it was, like, really self-congratulatory in a way that I didn't like, so, I mean, it's called Genius, for Christ's sake. Of course it's going to be self-congratulatory. So that's why I kind of didn't really like it. I only watched half of the first episode. But previous to that, the YouTuber Jay Aubrey made a really long, I guess, deep dive into Kanye West's career. And I found that to be really enjoyable and really eye-opening because I learned a lot of stuff that I didn't really know before. Because, like, you know, previous to, like, we'll say pre-2018, I, as a person, was, like, just vaguely aware of Kanye West's existence. I mean, his music is really popular when I was a kid. It'd be played on the radio a lot, and like, you know, the VH1s and the MTVs. Even though I didn't watch MTV, I only watched VH1. Which, I mean, around 2009, I don't know if he had any new music out, but that's kind of besides the point. But as a person, I was always vaguely aware of Kanye West. You know, not really into rap for most of my life. I would say the majority of my life. So I didn't, or I guess I couldn't really appreciate like how really influential a lot of his music was. But after learning a lot about him as a person and also his musical career, I gained a recognition and appreciation for it, I guess. But then, of course, all of this is kind of stained by, like, I mean, when can we say this even happened? The VMAs? Taylor, I'm gonna let you finish. But Beyonce had one of the best videos of all time. So I think that is when things started to really go downhill for him. That might have been 2008. It was a while ago. I'll say that. But and then there was George Bush doesn't care about black people. That was in 2005 though. So I feel like that
2005?
yeah, cuz Hurricane Katrina.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, at that point, not Taylor Swift, Kanye West sort of became public enemy #1 for doing that. But you know, after that, things I feel like they kind of chilled out. I didn't really hear about him being in like any super big controversy. And then of course his celebrity got bigger, I guess, by proxy by being not Taylor Swift, by being Kim Kardashian's husband. So that was a little boost for him. And then their relationship was, of course, microanalyzed because she's a Kardashian and that just kind of be how it is. But then, of course, gosh, when was the first time? I think the first like major episode that he had, and I was watching a iceberg video, a really well done iceberg video about Kanye West and his career, his music, him as a person. It's 2 parts. I don't know the YouTuber that made it, but it's 2 parts. The first part is like an hour and 45 minutes long, and the second part is like 2 hours long. So if you just look for that, you'll probably find it. So I think this all really started, well, firstly, it started after his mom died. He really went off the deep end there, but it didn't like supercharge until after his like Life of Pablo tour, where he like had to cut it short and like be hospitalized in like a facility. So after that, you know, that was pretty serious. And he was supposed to be on medication because he does like actually have bipolar disorder. It's not like a rumor. It's been confirmed. So he was supposed to be on medication for that, but he didn't take it because he didn't like how it made him feel. It made him less creative, yada yada. But obviously, if you don't take your medication, you just kind of get worse, and that led up to him and Kim Kardashian getting divorced because she was continuously trying to get him help, and he just would not accept it. So they ended up splitting. And then the whole saga with Pete Davidson, that was really weird. Not a lot of time, the Pete Davidson era, but it felt like forever, I'll say that much. And now this. I mean, he had the whole Trump era. That was back in 2018. That was like either before or after his Life of Pablo tour. I can't remember. I think the Life of Pablo tour, that was like the fever pitch. But him meeting with Trump and, you know, that was like not his first, but I would say one of his more recent major manic episodes that he's had. And now it seems like it's happening again. Except now it feels like the Trump thing, that was, you know, I feel like more people could like kind of laugh it off there because it's like, Kanye, you're so silly, haha, he's wearing a Make America Great Again hat, now he's running for president, oh, Kanye, you're so silly. But now with the threatening violence against Jewish people, it feels a bit serious. I feel like I don't know what's gonna like happen next, because I feel like a lot of stuff has already happened. Because like wishing death on Pete Davidson was already kind of extreme, but now like going after an entire group of people in a way that feels kind of scary is, I don't know where it can go for Kanye West, genuinely. Like it either ends, I don't know how this ends. He either gets help or he doesn't, which at this point it doesn't seem like he's gonna get help because the only person really trying to get him help is no longer in his life. So
who's the only person?
It was Kim. Yeah. And I guess previous to that his mom, but she died in like 2007. So Do you know he has like an actual private school? I feel like I might have told you this before, but I was very astonished to know this. It's called Donda Academy. It is an actual physical school, and it's in Simi Valley, California, which is like LA area. But they have a whole real school with actual children going there. And I mean, he's not really in charge of it. There's like, he's not the principal of the school, obviously. But I don't know. That feels so weird to me that Kanye West has a private school. Like that. Whoa. And also, all of the kids, they have to wear like these huge black t-shirts and black pants and black shoes, and that's like their uniform. That's wacky. But going back to his music, I think I've heard it, you know, I've seen the footages, and I think it is genuinely really good. But at some point, you got to look at it and think, okay, is it really worth supporting this kind of person? I mean, I was never really a fan of Kanye West to the point where I'd even have to like consider that myself. But I think a lot of people now are asking themselves that if they weren't now, they were definitely before. But the people who haven't quite seen the light yet are now asking themselves like, is this really worth me continuing to support this person? Because like, yeah, the music is good and like he is a unique talent, but can you really support this, you know? So you've been reading something over there the entire time I've been talking. I'd like to know.
I don't know. I was just trying to look into it. It's like a really long Vox article about. I don't know the recent incidents or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Well, your immediate thoughts?
I don't care.
You don't?
No.
Okay. Interesting. And I guess, you know, I've been reading about this in a variety of places, and I have seen comments from people being like, oh, we should just ignore him. And then there's like the weird subsect of people that are trying to pretend like he was never talented to begin with, which is like, I understand the urge to do that, but it's like factually incorrect. And there are people like, I don't care. Why is this important? I think it's important because, you know, Kanye West has had at least 2 very public manic episodes. So, you know, that itself seems really strange. Because I feel like there are probably a lot of celebrities with a similar type of bipolar disorder that Kanye has, but they're not going through it this publicly, you know? And obviously, having bipolar doesn't make you anti-Semitic. So, just throwing that one out there. But still, it is really wild how all of this is happening so publicly, because really, have we ever seen anything like this? Like a celebrity just falling off of the deep end in slow motion in front of our very eyes. Like, I can't think of something like that. I mean, the only thing I can really think of recently that comes to mind is like Britney shaving all her hair off and attacking a paparazzi, but that was like a day. And this has been like months. So I mean, all this stuff has been happening in, like, the last couple of weeks, but this is not the first time this kind of thing has happened. So, I don't know. It really sometimes does feel like you're a person looking into, like, an ant farm, if that makes sense.
Did you read the Vox article?
No. But I watched parts of his interview on Tucker Carlson, and obviously I saw all the tweets in his Instagram posts, so yeah. What is it saying?
I don't know. It's very long and lengthy, but I feel like it's saying a lot of what you're saying in like very similar ways. You know what I mean? Like even like, I mean, I think the article is like professional, so I guess it's better than you just kind of like word vomiting. But like
Thanks.
What is it like?
Feel real good about my oratory skills.
There is there's even one part where it's like literally parentheses, bipolar disorder, of course, does not cause anti-Semitism, which like, I guess, you know, more than one person can have that opinion. I'm just like, I read that like 30 seconds after you said it. So I'm like, oh, that's interesting.
Well, who knows? Maybe I work for Vox.
No.
Yeah, I don't. Might be nice though. I don't know.
But then it's also going into his history of controversy and like George Bush doesn't care about black people, and like Trump and Taylor Swift and all, and I don't know. It's so I'm just wondering, like, did you read the article and now you're telling me, or like you read a lot of Twitter and a lot of Twitter read the article and barfed
Well,
it out on Twitter?
I read his
It
tweets.
it doesn't
and I
have to
saw
all
his Instagram
it doesn't
posts.
have to all tie into the article. It's
Yeah.
just it's I don't know. It's
And also, I watched the Iceberg video and the J. Aubrey video like months ago, and FD Signifier, another YouTuber, made a really good video essay about him. So I've been consuming a lot of Kanye content for a while. So, you know.
I mean, yeah, I guess my I feel like my thoughts are still I don't care. Maybe to go a little bit deeper, I'll say
I really don't care.
no. I was gonna say if he needs help, and it seems like he does, I guess I hope he gets help. Because I don't know, it doesn't seem healthy. Whatever's going on in his head,
Yeah.
which seems to be a lot. I'm still trying to read the article. I think I'm at the end of it. It's kind of interesting.
Also, I guess, you know, a lot of people in the I don't care camp are also of the belief that if we ignore it, then he'll stop being relevant, which is a weird belief to have. Not saying that you believe that, but it's a weird belief to have because, no, he's Kanye West. He's like one of the biggest, most influential musical artists of all time. He's not just going to go away. Like, that's kind of a naive stance to take, I think. And also, ignoring a problem doesn't make it go away. And this is a problem, even though it is about a wacky, zany celebrity having a wacky, zany, manic episode in front of our wacky, zany eyes. But, you know.
So how, tell me how it's a problem.
I mean, Kanye is behaving in this way, and there are a surprising amount of people who think that it's fine. Like, he has a number of, I'll call them dick riders, who are always, for some reason, willing to, like, defend him when he does this stuff. And so these people are, presumably, not mentally ill. So do they genuinely think that the stuff that he's saying is okay? Because going DEFCON 3 on Jewish people is, like, not great. So how do you even justify that in your head as a person? Like, Kanye does have a lot of influence, not only in the music industry, but with his crazy number of fans. So it's not like Kanye's just like on an island somewhere by himself yelling at clouds. Like, this stuff is being heard by people, and not only that, not really for some reason, I know why, but a lot of the stuff that he is saying now that he's sort of switched over to the MAGA camp, they're like boosting him up like a lot. So I think, I think it does matter.
So what's the solution?
I don't know. That's the thing. It's the crazy thing about it. It's like, what do you do? Like, I mean, institutionalize him? Is that really going to work if he doesn't want to get help? Like, how do you fix this? I guess it's like an open-ended question. We got to ponder on it.
It's simple. We steal the Declaration of Independence. That was my best Nick Cage. I don't think it was very good.
Wasn't
I was trying too hard not to laugh or smile. So wait. You can abstain, but
Okay.
from trying to present a solution. But the solution I heard is you said institutionalize him.
I mean, I don't know. That's the only thing that I can think of that'll, like, help. But obviously that's not really going to help. You can in some instances. But you can't just, like, take someone in against their will. That's kind of unethical. But when they're behaving in this way, at one point, do you, like, step in? Because, like, do I personally believe that Kanye West is, like, capable of committing violence against someone? Honestly, I don't know. I don't know the guy that well, you know. I'm not one of his besties. I can't really make that determination. But given the threats that he has been making, I can't imagine any of this ending well. And really, all you can really do is, like, watch from the sidelines with a blanket held up to your eyes, like, oh my gosh, what's gonna happen next, you know? So
we can see in a week, just like The Sims 5, but I will venture to say, spoiler alert for future listeners, I will say probably nothing.
Well,
we'll see in a week.
Shall see.
We'll see in a week. Um,
And honestly, I do hope it is a big nothing burger, because that means that Kanye isn't planning on, like, going Death Con 3 on Jewish people, whatever that means. Doesn't sound very good. But, I don't know. It does not bode well. Again, it just, I don't know. It makes me nervous in a way. Not super nervous, not, like, in a actually meaningful way, but when I think about it, it's like, oh, goodness. This can't end well. I mean, Kanye is not going to go on whatever platform he's not banned on, Facebook, and be like, psych, fooled you, ahaha, it was a joke. I don't see
Why
that
not?
happening. Because, I mean, we've seen Kanye go through manic episodes before. Like,
he just needs to make a YouTuber apology. Get a sweater, a dog, cry on camera.
I mean, he sort of kind of did that.
I had a
after the
severe
Taylor
lapse of
Swift
judgment.
thing. He went on, I think it was Letterman, and, like, almost cried about snatching the mic from Taylor.
So it sounds like he could do that.
I don't know if anybody's going to let him on, because one thing that I forgot, I don't know if you're familiar with the show. I think it's on YouTube, and I think it's called The Shop. But basically, LeBron James, and, like, he has people that he interviews, and he's, like, in a barbershop. And he was supposed to be on an episode, Kanye West was supposed to be on an episode of The Shop, but they decided not to air it because he was saying a bunch of wacky stuff during it. So they're like, okay, there's no way we can air this. The thing that happened, it's not because of all of this that had happened. He was booked, like, I want to say a week or two prior to him going on, like, Tucker Carlson. However, you know, contractual obligations. They wanted to know if he would, like, answer for any of this stuff. So they did still have him on, but I guess whatever had happened in that barbershop was so egregious that they could not air it. So I am really interested to know, like, what happened, though. I am morbidly curious in a way. Yeah. So I don't even know, like, who's going to let him on their television program, especially after knowing that had happened. So, again, we shall see. I don't think this is going to be resolved in, like, a week. I feel like this might drag out for, I don't know how long. Goodness.
And yet the world goes on.
I mean, yeah, but that's also an aspect of the world. So.
It goes. It do be going.
It's the way she goes. It's a Trailer Park Boys reference. We haven't gotten that far yet. We're only on episode 1. I don't think we're going to watch it together, though. There's a lot of episodes. Maybe I want to watch it on my own pace. Anyways, Elon Musk buying Twitter now because he has no other choice.
What do you
Tried
mean?
to sue to get out of it, and I think whatever court found that he had to, maybe it wasn't a court, I can't remember. He tried very hard to get out of buying Twitter at like $44 billion, which is massively overvalued at the time, and is now even more massively overvalued. So he's basically overpaying for it. Sight unseen. Then he was going to complain about the bots, and then he was like, oh, there's no bots. And I was like, yes, there is bots. And now he's like, actually, you know what? I changed my mind. I am buying Twitter. And I guess he's buying Twitter. I don't know. This whole saga is exhausting, and I'm tired of hearing about it, quite frankly. But, yeah. At least NFTs seem to be dying down. That's a silver lining. I don't have to hear about NFTs anymore, and I'm happy for it.
NFTs are the new, like, the game, you know?
The game?
Yeah, the game. We just lost.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, would you like to contribute something? Anything happened spicy this week? Spicy or saucy? Saucy
Only
or
my
hot?
stomach problems.
Oh, okay.
I think that's a little too spicy for the podcast.
Your gastrointestinal issues?
Bro, it was nonstop diarrhea. Like,
Are you serious?
yeah.
Wow.
I feel like I looked like a ghost in the mirror, dude. Like,
Oh my God.
like Saturday or Sunday, I feel like I looked in the mirror. I looked like a zombie. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Melissa would probably be like, "No, he was still cute," but like, no, I feel like I probably lost water weight. I don't know, maybe I lost a pound or two or something, but like straight up, like I drank a sip of water and it's like, all right, toilet. Like,
Oh my God.
it was miserable, man.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever experienced anything like that. I've never caught whatever people call a stomach bug before.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes I'll eat food and it doesn't agree with me and I'll get the runs, but aside from that, I've never had any kind of, like, viral infection of that type. Never even had the flu.
Yeah. I only conspiracy theory. I only
Okay.
got the flu. Whenever I got the flu shot, I don't know if I've ever talked to you about this. Whenever I got the flu shot, I would always get the flu. As soon as I stopped getting the flu shot, I stopped getting the flu.
Well, I've never gotten a single flu shot, so. But I also
Conspiracy theory
have a
proven.
really robust immune system.
Robust.
Yes. I haven't gotten a cold in a very long time. And in between the last time that I got a cold and the previous time to that, also a very long time. So, eating dirt really worked out for me.
Good for you.
Thank you.
But what is it? No, I mean, I feel like my mom has a very good immune system as well. I don't think I inherited its full power, but I think I got some crumbs,
Do you know if you were breastfed?
Yeah, I think so.
The immune system passes on through that.
My mom said that. Yeah.
Yeah.
My.
'Cause it's true. Ooh.
Oh. But well, see, the thing is I don't think my brother was at all, but he, I think of my siblings, got the strongest immune system.
Interesting.
Yeah. I don't know. Conspiracy theory. No, I think I couldn't drink formula at all because
Just far too picky.
yeah, no, genuinely. No, I had it once and I
Cried for 3 days straight.
with gas. I filled up with gas. I was in pain, I was crying, and I was farting.
Wow.
Basically me every day. No, it's what is it? Yeah, no. So yeah, that sickness was miserable. I feel like I'll get a cold, a sore throat, some sniffles every now and then, but that sickness I've not felt a sickness. I haven't had a battle like that in years. But yeah,
I feel like most of the bodily ailments that I have are because of hormones. I haven't been sick in a really long time.
trying to think of anything else spicy happened.
And then of course my wisdom teeth trying to kill me every other month.
Bro, I already told this to Melissa, so this will be redundant to her, but I might as well tell you and the podcast. It's October. I want to watch horror movies. Thing is I watched Misery, and then I had a nightmare, and I'm like, am I just a bigger baby than I used to be?
Wait, Misery?
Yeah.
And you had a nightmare from that?
Yeah.
You didn't get out of the cock-a-doodle car, you had a nightmare from that?
Yeah.
Man.
I mean, it's
All
a
right.
disturbing movie.
Yeah,
There's
I
certain
guess.
things that
The smashing of the leg, that's in there, right?
it's not like I well, spoilers. It's not like I went to bed
It's an old movie, Joseph.
terrified and then had a nightmare. It's I guess certain aspects resonated and stuck with me, and then I kind of had a nightmare about it. And so I'm like, man, I want to watch. I don't know what I want to watch. Smile. I want to watch.
Hereditary.
I'm so.
We can do it with the lights on.
No, we have to watch it with the dark. In the dark.
about that.
You're nervous about that?
I mean, a little bit.
Yeah, I'm terrified. Just the idea of watching Hereditary terrifies me. But I kind of want to do it.
I don't want to watch
still.
it by myself, though. That's the thing.
You, me, and Melissa, and we'll all have nightmares. Actually, I think Melissa said she might tap out. I feel like I'll force her. I'll be like, Melissa, you're watching this. I can't go it alone.
The thing is, I've been seeing a lot of content about Hereditary, but I want to go in blind.
Yeah.
So I want to watch it because I want to watch the content.
Yeah. But yeah, what is it? I haven't been watching horror this month, even though I've been kind of craving it. I mean, part of that is just being busy, and then part of that is maybe being a big baby. I'm like, shoot, man. I don't know. I just don't know if I can handle it right now.
Well, Joseph, if it's any consolation, I watched Taskmaster last night before bed, and I had a scary dream. Not because of that, but for some reason. Would you like to hear about it? Because it was kind of strange at the same time.
Yeah.
But I also couldn't go to bed immediately after waking up from it. So I'm going to classify it as a upsetting dream. Maybe not scary, but...
Wait, before you tell, how long have we been recording?
An hour and 25 minutes.
And that's all the time we have. No,
Joseph.
okay, we'll end with your story.
Okay, this is my scary dream story. So, I feel like I had a number of different dreams leading up to this because I have several dreams in succession, but they're like continuations, so they're not like separate dreams. I don't wake up, but some stuff probably happened before all of this. But at some point in my dream sequence, I was like in Ukraine for some reason, and when I was dreaming, it made sense while I was doing it, why I was doing it, but when I woke up, it didn't make sense anymore. But for some reason, I was in Ukraine in like war zones, and I was with like a group of people who were like collecting dead bodies. I think to like sell them to who I don't know, and why I also don't know, but this scary dream involved me seeing a lot of people in various stages of decomposition, which I really don't like. So that disturbed me quite a lot. That was basically the entire dream. And I woke up from that like 2:45 in the morning, and I had to scroll through Reddit to get my mind off of it so I wouldn't like go back to sleep and return to it, which isn't something that happens often, but the possibility of it, don't want to open myself up to that. So
It seems spooky.
yeah.
Do you know what caused this dream?
No, I don't, because it's not like I've been reading a lot about the war in Ukraine like recently or really at all. So I don't know why that happened. But
So you were like a scavenger?
I don't know. See, I don't know. I was just going around. It wasn't even me. I feel like, I don't know. I'm trying to remember, and me trying to remember is me like losing the memory, but I feel like I was documenting it for some reason, like going around with a team of people who were collecting dead bodies to like sell them. For some reason, again, I don't know. Probably like Ukrainian people, and I was there for some reason. Yeah, I don't know. None of it makes sense, like, at all. But it was upsetting to me. So, yeah, that was my dream.
Mm-hmm.
Martin Luther King had a dream about little black boys and little black girls and little white boys and little white girls playing together in harmony. And I have dreams about dead people. So
You collecting dead people, you
I wasn't
sicko.
doing the collecting. The
You
other people
sicko.
were.
Why? What were you doing?
I was like, I don't know. I was like a journalist or something. I don't know. I wasn't the one collecting. That's all I know.
Oh.
So
What were you? What were you doing as a journalist? You reporting on it,
I guess.
and that made you uncomfortable.
Maybe it's because I was not reading about something specific, but I guess just thinking about how journalists and stuff have to like go out in like active war zones and just like be there, and sometimes have tragedy befall them. So I don't know. I guess that was on the brain for some reason, even though, again, not something that I've been thinking about a whole lot, but it is something that I think about sometimes. Which is why I can never be a, like, immersion reporter, which is what they're called, I think. Or something starting with an I. So, actually, I was on the Wikipedia list of controversies. It was actually a category, it wasn't a list.
No,
basically broken down by year. But one year, a reporter for NBC called Richard Engel, he like got kidnapped by Iranian, I actually don't know if it was Iran, but like rebels. And that was like a controversy for, I want to say like 2013 or 2012 or something. Obviously he's fine because he didn't like die or anything, but that is something that can happen to journalists. Just getting kidnapped and maybe dying.
Nice. Didn't that happen? No, that's not nice. Didn't that happen semi recently in Saudi Arabia?
A journalist got kidnapped or died?
Killed, I thought.
I don't know about specifically Saudi Arabia, but
Well, the reason I bring it up is because what is it? So this is a tangent I want to end. What is it? It comes up because like so. I think I've talked to you a little bit about like China getting involved in like the games industry, and that's somewhat concerning due to like censorship and
the Chinese government.
yeah, basically. And the same thing's happening with Saudi Arabia, not just with golf, but with video games as well. And
I did not know that.
well, I think they're buying into studios and using their immense wealth to
Influence things.
not necessarily influence, but I guess just get more wealth, like just make video games and get wealth from them. But yeah, presumably they would have an influence over it. And Sacred Symbols brings it up a lot because they're very scared about it and very much like, what is it, like, this is a terrible country, you know what I mean? Like, this is not, I do not want their culture influencing ours through our art, you know what I mean? Specifically the government. They don't have, they I guess they always make the distinction of like, we don't have any issue with Chinese people, we don't have any issue with Saudi Arabian people, we have an issue with the Chinese government and the Saudi Arabian royalty.
Mohammed Bonesaw.
Bonesaw?
Yeah.
From Spider-Man 2001?
No, by a thing used to cut bones.
I think just 2000.
Okay.
It's a wrestler in the Tobey Maguire movie.
Bro, I just changed the batteries on these, and they're already down to like 2 bars out of 3. It's ridiculous. I'm going to write a strongly worded letter to Tascam to make their equipment more energy efficient, because it's not. I've never had to buy batteries this much.
It says there, let me see. Oh, okay. There we go. Okay, there. So, what is it? Yeah, I looked up Saudi Arabia American journalist, and then his name is Jamal Khashoggi.
Oh, that happened in 2018.
Yeah, so somewhat recently. I was thinking in the past like 5 years.
Yeah, it's Mohammed Bonesaw. That's what I was talking about. Basically, they kidnapped him, had him killed, and like dismembered him and disposed of him.
Oh, the reason it came up, I think, is because
Mohammed bin Salman, who's like the crown prince, he's not like the king or whatever, but he's the one who allegedly ordered it, which is why they call him Mohammed Bonesaw.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Sorry for making some jokes, but
also, Jamal Khashoggi was a journalist for the Washington Post, I believe. Yeah.
Okay. The reason it came up recently was because a former, I don't know when it came up. It came up because a former frick. The episodes are blurring. They're like 4 or 5 hours. They're like 4 hours long each week. A former big PlayStation executive. He might have been the president. His name is Sean Layden. He has been hired by Tencent, which is a Chinese-owned company. And the thing is a lot of these companies are being bought out by Tencent, which is, I think, somewhat run. It has involvement or is somewhat run by like the Chinese Communist Party. And these like American or other companies that are outside of China are like, man, we're so looking forward to work with Tencent. Like, they're just this opportunity. We couldn't pass it up. And it's like, we're looking forward to, it's just really like very fluffy, high praise market speak.
Yeah.
And like, this makes like the Sacred Symbols crew really mad, where it's like, yo, the Chinese government is bad. Like, why are you okay with like censorship and concentration camps and things like that? And then I think there was probably some other story that I don't remember that involved Saudi Arabia, and so that came up with the journalist. And it's like, yo, this is a country where you can be beheaded publicly for being gay. You know what I mean? And they have killed Americans. Like, why would you want to work with them as an American, as anyone with morals, you know, or ethics, whatever. Anyway.
Yeah, that happened like 2018. So not necessarily recent, but also not old news either. But yeah. It was in an embassy too, which is the crazy part. I don't know whose embassy, but that's where he allegedly died.
Yeah.
Or was killed, allegedly.
So, what is it? Anyway, I don't even know how we got on this, but yeah.
Me being a journalist in fake Ukraine.
Oh yeah, and then getting taken and assassinated. Looks like Melissa's out of class.
Well, this has been the
29th
episode of the Not Just Arin podcast. You can find us on all major podcast platforms. That is Spotify, Apple, Google, YouTube, Anchor. Ooh, that is it for now. Follow us on social media at Not Just Arin Pod. Yeah, that's that's what it is. I had to remember. That is Twitter and Instagram. Also, YouTube, they're introducing this feature where every channel now has their own unique @ handle, which didn't really matter for my main channel because I already have a unique URL. But as soon as the podcast channel gets that functionality, I believe we will be at the Not Just Arin, or at Not Just Arin podcast, or Not Just Arin pod if the other one's not available, I guess, or if it's too long. So soon our YouTube URL will be very easy to remember instead of just you boobity boo. So yeah, interesting.
Sponsor.
Am I done? Yes. Who are we sponsored by?
Well, you've heard of BetterHelp. Now, get ready for some help. Some help is like BetterHelp, but I don't know. I don't know. This,
You didn't even think this out.
Yeah, I gave up on this bit.
Wow.
Anyway, we're brought to you by Some Help, which is what Kanye needs for his sake and everyone else's. And Kanye, if you're listening,
She's not, but go ahead.
if you click the link in the description, you will get 100% off because I don't know, because you need it real bad.
Well,
And then Arin, that goes for you too.
anyway.
I already clicked the link. I already got my coupon. Okay, like I have 100% off. Okay.
Okay.
So I'm not throwing shade. I am getting some help now. Arin, I suggest you and Kanye get some as well.
Okay. Thank you for that fantastic ad read, Joseph, and thank you to Some Help for financially supporting the Not Just Arin podcast. We could not do it without financial contributions like yours. And now I gotta go whiz